size does matter. At least that's how I started my previous video about Elite Dangerous. The video that, well, let's say got some traction. But since then, a lot of things have changed. Or rather, a lot of things have moved on. Some things for the better, some things for the worse, but what happened with Elite Dangerous? That's what I was interested in, and I decided to jump back into the game. Oh, it's no secret that I had love-hate relationship with this game, and I was on again, off again for more than a decade now with this game. I actually started playing it on its original release in 2014 and played it extensively, but my opinion did not change for the better after the years of playing it. So I decided to get back to it. I decided to find out whether it is worth it right now or not, and I decided to play it the way it was meant to be played, so that everyone, every space sim genre lover would tell me that yes, you played the way you should and your opinion is valid. So I grabbed some of the stuff. Well, first things first, VKB actually sent me those things. Their Gladiator NXT, they actually have sent me this with an Omni throttle, and yeah, their newest throttle. This is Stax Mark II. Overkill, I know, but I just wanted to try it the way it was meant to be played. I even got head tracker and eye tracker, and I played it extensively with this setup and also played it extensively with keyboard and mouse as well, to have a really good understanding whether controls have effect on the game or not. So do I think that Elite Dangerous is worth playing now? It actually is. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed this quite a lot, and I actually managed to remember why I loved Elite Dangerous so much more than a decade ago. I managed to relight that spark that I had 10 years ago, and it turned out into beautiful fire. But no, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this game is perfect. Oh, then this game is so amazing and I will play this for a really long time. This won't be the case. Issues are still issues and they're still there, but when you look at the game the way you're supposed to look at it, you understand it a little bit more. But now let's talk about why Elite Dangerous is actually worth buying and playing right now, or why not as well. So first things first, what I wanted to retest and recheck with the game was whether any role that I choose viable or not. Meaning that if I wanted to choose a specific role, could I play this game and enjoy it to the fullest with only this role? I like that thing about No Man's Sky as well, because the thing that I wanted to do in No Man's Sky was simply explore, and I wanted to get a lot of credits, a lot of money, and a lot of resources by simply exploring, and No Man's Sky actually allowed me to do so. Elite Dangerous in the past allowed me to do so as well, but not that much. Like for example, exploration was nowhere near in its profitability to some things like mining or bounty hunting or trading, but right now it actually is. My favorite task of exploring actually also gives you a lot of credits and a lot of ways to play game more as well. Like as an example, it's actually far easier to sell your navigational data and your cartography data because it's more easier to understand whatever the hell is happening, because the interface has been upgraded quite a lot for the past few years. But what I also like is additional ways to gain from exploration. Like for example, exobiology. You can actually not just explore the star systems themselves, you can actually explore their surfaces for the signs of life. And life is more or less abundant in this universe, and if you are looking at this more carefully, you're gonna get a lot of samples by actually getting to the ground and actually scanning the life forms themselves, and you are gonna get a lot of credits from that as well, which was the thing that I was looking for. The same thing can be said about mining, trading, and combat as well, the main roles of this game. Mining was always profitable and was one of the best things to do in the game as well. Like there is nothing that sounds as good as deep core mining in this game. It's absolutely beautiful sound. Trading is also very viable because you can trade a large amount of resources and a large amount of goods and gain a lot of money, and yeah, that was working always in this game. Combat is also fun, and with the stacks and with Gladiator NXT, it's also a very engaging experience, and I absolutely loved it. Not that I didn't play it with the dedicated gear in the past, but for some reason I enjoy this a little bit more right now. Maybe because of stacks. This is actually an exceptional piece of gear, and the review of it will be coming very soon on this channel as well. And I also forgot how beautiful this game looks. It's absolutely stunning. For the game that is 10 years old, no more than 10 years old, this game looks absolutely beautiful. And I don't know why did it feel that way for me right now, and why it didn't feel the same in the past when I played this. For some reason, I did not feel alone in this game. In the past, when I was living the bubble, the further I went, I felt kinda alone every single light year pass, but right now, it was not the same thing. I don't know why though. I cannot tell you why. Maybe because I had right now an ability to actually land on the planets. And yeah, this is not a new thing. The landing on the planets was a thing for really long time. And yes, the Odyssey was also the thing the last time I reviewed the game. But right now, it's buttery smooth. I didn't have a single issue with the game. No frame drops, no lag, nothing. It was insanely smooth experience. Combat both on the ground and in a space felt insanely smooth and fresh experience. And yes, this is not Call of Duty, and this is not even on Star Citizen level of combat. Yeah, I know that Elite Dangerous fans hate when you compare this with Star Citizen, but yeah, you can let this pass through right now. But I enjoyed this combat a lot, and I also enjoyed settlements right now far more. It feels far more polished experience, and roaming around the settlements feels more alive. And maybe I felt less alone in the game because of it, all the NPCs that are roaming around right now, because every space station have their own lounges and their own NPCs. And what I really liked this time was how well refined the UI is. Like, for example, mission boards. Like, when you get on space stations, the thing that was available on X4 and other games for really long time, you can actually go towards NPCs and actually talk to them about different missions and get these missions and just go and do those missions. And you don't really need to find the things to do yourself. For the first time, game has a really good direction of what you need to do if you're looking for this type of directions. And what I really lacked in this game, and what I really wanted to see in this game, like very small things like animations of getting on a ship. The thing that is available in games like X4 and yeah, even on Star Citizen for a really long time. And even though the games like X4, they does not have a lot of ship interiors and things like that, even the most basic thing like getting on your ship yourself would have felt much more immersive. I don't like a loading screen, even though it's not, it's basically instantaneous, but I don't like getting on a ship, press E and you will teleport to the ship thing. This breaks immersion. And yeah, thinking of it right now, maybe that was the thing that I liked this time far more than previous times. Immersion. For the first time, I was far more immersed in the game. I felt like the part of the universe because of the small things, like getting out of the ship, going into the hangar, actually waiting for an elevator, going down, talking and getting missions, or even just getting missions from a bounty board. It still felt much more alive. For small things like getting a transporting mission, going towards a settlement, landing at the said settlement, going towards a specific locker, putting a password, getting the good that is required, and then returning to the space station where you got the mission. Yeah, this does not feel like a very intense things like for other games, but for this game, this feels very reinvigorating. It feels much more immersive than any time in the past. And yes, again, I know that these things are available for a while now, but because of how poorly it performed, at least for me in the past, it was pulling me out violently from immersion every single time. But right now, it did not. It felt good. And this is the thing that I'm looking for in the game. I want to feel good in the game. I want to enjoy it. I want to feel fun. If I'm being constantly violently pulled out from experience, I will not enjoy it. And that's a thing that I did not in the past. But the question is, will I enjoy the game with the gear or without gear? Is it any difference? It actually is a difference. I'm not gonna lie, having a dedicated gear, like for example, the whole task system, it doesn't matter how advanced you are, the most basic ones will actually work too, or a head tracker helps you with an immersion. It does help you. Ability to look around while you pass a planet or pass a star or pass a starship feels amazing. But if I will tell you that without that the game sucks, I will be lying to you. Even if you have a basic controller like for flying your ship, you're gonna enjoy it a lot. Even if you don't have anything and only keyboard and mouse, even though you're gonna have a little bit of disadvantages in like combat, you're gonna still have a lot of fun because of the sad immersion I talked about. But what about the players? Are actually players there? Well, you see, game actually reached its peak player base in 2021, and since then it dropped a lot. Yes, failed Odyssey launch was a huge hit for the game, and it was dropping ever since. But you see, in the past few months, game actually has seen resurgence. Now, I won't be glazing this game, telling you, oh, the game is seeing huge resurgence of players, because it's not. I've seen a lot of videos telling that, oh, the game is seeing its second renaissance or things like that. No, it's not. It's having far more players than while it was on its lowest, but it's not technically a renaissance. Yes, jumping from average concurrent players from 5 5,000 to around 9 to 10,000 is a good thing. I'm not taking this away, but it's not the renaissance and second coming of this game. But returning of a player base is well deserved. Game is running very well, game feels like a complete experience and very immersive one at that, and devs are actually adding some things that players have been asking for years now. Like for example, ability to colonize other star systems and planets as well. So the things that players want are finally getting into the game, and because of this players are returning to it. And because playing this game has never been easier, and mind that, easier, not less grindy. This game is still grindy as hell. The game is seeing resurgence of a lot of players. Plus the pricing plays a huge role as well. You can get the base game for as low as $4.99 and Odyssey expansion for $8.99, and it will be lower depending on your region. So getting into the game has never been that cheap. And yes, even though you might count the gear like I showed as a price of the game, but these things are completely optional. You can enjoy it without that, but with those things you will enjoy it far more. And finally, I understand what is this game and how I should play this. This is a perfect forever game. This is a perfect relaxation game. You should play this game like other sims, like sim racing or Assetto Corsa or Euro Truck Simulator. This is that type of game. If you're gonna play this like an action game, like the MMO or like Warframe or things like that, you are not gonna enjoy it. This is not the reason to play this game. The reason to play this game is to get at home after a long day of work or whatever the thing that you are doing, sitting down and enjoying for an hour or two. That is the reason to play this game. And this enjoyment it gives you with some additions as well. It gives you a lot of, it's relaxing, it's beautiful, the music, the sound, it's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, it's actually worth it. I highly recommend you to get it if the things that I said appeals to you. And this video is sponsored by channel's partner and supporter, Instant Gaming. If you want best games for the best prices all the time, all year round, without waiting for any sales, Instant Gaming is the way to go. You can find all types of games for all the different platforms, and most importantly for the cheapest prices possible. And I also partner with Instant Gaming for epic game giveaway of your choice. So click the link in the description down below for your chance to win. Thanks to Instant Gaming for their support, and now let's get back to the video. If not, maybe you should think about some other games. Like for example X4, you can watch my review of it right here. Or if you prefer something sci-fi but want something a bit more easier and simpler, you can watch my review of Titanfall 2 right here as well. Don't forget to subscribe right here as well. This is the video for today, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Take care.